my friends, and welcome to episode 65 of the KISS Army Nation podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Pasquale Veri.
And I am Claudius Pera. Welcome to the show, everyone. So today's guest is a 37 years young Argentinian fan with a fascinating story and a captivating personality. So originally from Cordoba, a seasoned professional in the graphic design domain, Alejandro has had the vision of complementing his two passions, KISS and design, into an awesome project that we will discuss here in this episode. In the current KISS world, we find a vast quantity of ideas and projects originated by fans, such is the case of Alejandro, who has just published and released his first book, KISS in Argentina. So it is with great pleasure that I would like to introduce to all of you to my dear friend, Alejandro Rizzotti. Welcome to the KISS Army podcast, Ale.
Thank you, guys. Hi, Claudio. Hi, Pascual. How are you doing? Thank you for the invitation.
It's so nice to have you. So we've seen that there's a lot of traction these days, you know, with you on the network and the social media. Yeah, so we're happy to have you. And now, you know, on to you, Pasc.
So Lale, we're so happy to have you on our show. And I know that you have a lot of interesting stories to tell. And before we get into those stories and into your current projects, let's start from the beginning. So who exactly is Alejandro Rizzotti, and how and when did you become a KISS fan?
Okay. First of all, thank you for the invitation. I want to say to the audience, I live in Argentina. My language is Spanish, so I will try to do my best to speak in English. Please be patient. Sorry. Well, as Claudio said, I'm 37. I am from Cordoba, Argentina. I'm a graphic designer. Huge KISS fan since I was 12. And I met the band when I was 12 during the reunion tour in 76.
96.
Because all the 96, because all the media in the TV, newspapers, magazines. I saw a TV special on MTV. When I saw that, I went crazy. I remember I have a cousin who gave me a shirt, but I didn't know who they were.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on the TV and I went crazy. And then a friend from school gave me a cassette because I was a Nirvana fan back then. In one side there's a Nirvana record, and in the B side there's Dress to Kill.
Okay.
Because his older brother liked the intro of Rock Bottom. He recorded for that, only for that. And when I when I push play and hear the intro of Room Service,
that's it.
I say, this is it. I was hooked for life. I was crazy. Yeah, by the time I started to listen to Alice Cooper, Aerosmith, Ozzy Osbourne, it was a whole new world of hard rock and heavy metal, and it was great. I was young, and so when I started, I still love this band, but for me, there was just music, but KISS was far beyond that.
Mm-hmm. And how popular was KISS in your country when you were first introduced to the band?
As I say, because of the reunion tour, there was a worldwide success. But here in Argentina came so many magazines from Spain. There's the Kerrang, the Heavy Rock, and there was on the TV all the time, newspaper, on the music channels. They play specials all the time, the music videos. I remember doing zapping and see all the special about KISS videos, clips, and it was great. It was a great time.
You need to remember, Paz, that you know, the first time ever that the band came to Argentina was back in '94. Okay. So now we're going to touch on a couple of topics. You know, some occasions where the band was supposed to visit Argentina, but it didn't come to fruition. So then it was pretty recent. So '94 was a big thing for Argentinians fans to see the band, and then of course '96 wasn't that far off. And I remember during that time, there was the KISS story that had been released, the big book. So there was a lot of momentum. So then when the reunion tour, happened, it was all over the map. It was all over the place in Argentina. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
So Lale, I would love to immerse our audience into some great moments you experienced as a KISS fan. So what was the first KISS show that you've ever been to?
Well, during the reunion, the band came here in 97, but I was too young. I was like 13 years, and I'm not from Buenos Aires, so it was hard to go to the show. In 99, I was 15, so I have to wait 10 more years to see my first show in 2009 in the Quilmes Rock Festival. I was like 20 years. And it was
if I'm not mistaken, that was the Alive 35
the Alive
tour,
35
right?
tour. Yeah, that was the tour.
Okay.
So I never have to see the original lineup in show, but it was a shame. But for my age, I have to wait.
So even though your first show happened, after many years that the band had started, it's interesting that you kind of began, collecting and gathering information and material way before that. So what was the deal? So can you please share with us what was the drive to do so? So you hadn't even seen a show, but you were already collecting stuff, information, going deep into the story. So why was that?
I always feel fascinated about the story of the fans and collecting from here, from Argentina, a story from the 80s. And they say how hard it was to be a KISS fan here in Argentina during that period of time in the early 80s, late 70s, because what the media say about the band, they were satanic or they killed chicken on stage and all kind of stuff. And I always feel fascinated about that. I always like to collect magazine clippings, newspaper, and reading on magazine, the KISS Fever magazine. It was an Argentinian magazine here during the 90s, and I spent hours and hours and hours reading those magazines, and I feel fascinated.
Just to put also past into perspective, so because of the political landscape in Argentina at that time, rock and roll was basically prohibited. Many of the stuff it didn't come to the country, and when the media or the papers or the magazines were publishing something, it was all fake. It was a bunch of lies. And in the case of KISS, well, they were saying all kinds of things. That's it's well. Now we're going to touch on the project, but hey, on to you, Pasca. I know that you have plenty of questions.
Of course. No, Claudio mentioned your curiosity in collecting. So it sounds to me that you were collecting information on the band. Is that correct?
Yeah. I love a lot of books and magazine, newspaper. I always feel fascinated about that. Collecting KISS is endless, so I try to focus on bibliography and discography.
Right.
I don't care really about medals or that kind of merchandise. I always feel curiosity about the story of the band, what really happens, and I love that.
Okay, because that was my next question. You consider yourself a KISS collector, so you see yourself more as a collector of information rather than a collector of merchandise.
Yeah. I like the information and discography, all LPs, cassette, 8-tracks, singles, all the music and all the information that I can get. Not so much about merchandise.
But you have a huge collection of vinyls, and maybe you can get us deep into that. And as you said before, cassettes from the old days, 8-tracks.
Yeah,
And one of the
yeah,
fascinating things, Pasc and the audience, is that all the stuff, it's releases that are coming from South America and mainly Argentina, and these are really, really hard to find. So there are some very
yeah.
special editions.
Even here in Argentina, they're really hard to find. And I always feel fascinated about the discography in Argentina because, as you know, they have different covers or the song in Spanish translate. I have a few here. This is the first
That's
part
Kiss Alive.
of Alive. Yeah, it's 76.
Also, the Alive was in two parts.
All in Spanish.
In 2 parts. Yeah.
In 2 parts. I like 2. Also came in 2 parts. This is the one, the yellow one.
Nice.
And this is the second, the blue. And this album is hard to find even here in Argentina. So
do you have
the
Lo Mejor de Kiss? And do you have the Rock and Roll Over too, which is really unique?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to get that one.
Yeah, I love those covers. On the second print of Hard in Hell, the second version here in Argentina.
Oh wow.
Yeah, with the solo posters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Revenge.
With Spanish translate, Venganza.
Venganza.
Yeah, I'll always love to collect all the editions, but mostly from South American, Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
So vinyl, Kiss vinyl is hugely popular in North America. Would you say it's really popular in Argentina as well?
Not like the US, but there's a few collectors really deep into the collection because most of the fans have a few or 2 albums, but not so popular in LPs. Maybe all the CDs or cassettes, but there's not a few Kiss collectors about the vinyl.
The vinyls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what kind of material, besides vinyl, what else do you collect? Yeah. And what do you consider like the holy grail of your Kiss collectibles?
Well, as I say, I love to collect. When I was younger, everything who has the Kiss logo, I tried to get it. As many of you, I think. Yeah. But when I start to grow up, because as I say, I collect Kiss is endless. You can even here in South America, it's hard to find. It's not so easy to buy on eBay or because of the post. It's hard. And you can find anything. It's not. But I love the discography in all formats, and as I say, magazine. And my holy grails for me is I always love the signed albums. But the design for me.
The Ace Frehley.
Tulale. Okay, Ace Frehley.
The Peter Criss picture disc.
Yeah.
Lick It Up. Oh, Vinnie Vincent signed it. Nice.
Yeah, and Michael Jackson.
Oh, nice.
And my holy grail, I always love to had something signed by the all original members. And it took me years, but this is my holy grail.
Oh, an original too.
Signed by Paul, Jim, Peter, and Paul.
Wow.
And
that's
it's complete
awesome.
with the OB, the booklet, the mask is complete in mint condition, and it took me a year, but they also.
You finally got it. Tulale.
I finally get it. It was like my project. And also another holy grail from here, Argentina, is the A-track of Harder Than Hell,
Okay,
which is very hard to find.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
It's in Spanish. It's like a rarity because it includes 2 songs from the first album,
Okay.
called Gene and Let Me Know. I don't know why. I think but it's great. It's very hard to find.
Wow.
So see, I always love to the member to sign my albums and meet them. And
basically take us to the next question. So as you've shown, so you are fortunate enough to have met all of the KISS members, living KISS members,
the 8,
past and present. And can you fill us in on how were those experiences?
Okay.
What do you remember about those experiences, meeting them?
Yeah, the first I met was Bruce when came here in 2007. I was young. I have all the sign tattoo all over my body. Not all, but 5 signs. And the first was Bruce, and he told me, "Are you sure you want to have my sign for life in your body?" And I say, "Oh yeah, I have a lot of KISS tattoos." So I have a picture here, a collage with.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow.
Okay. With all of them. That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Look at that.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, the first picture with KISS was on the KISS Cruise 3, and for me, having a picture with my heroes in full makeup and costume, it was like a dream. I always dream about that since I was 12. Having a picture with them and meeting them is like a dream come true. And the last 2 I met was Peter and Beanie in 2018. It was great. For me, Peter, it was always my hero.
Where did you meet Peter?
There was in Orlando at the Spook Empire convention.
Okay.
It was a horror convention.
Right.
And it was a week before the KISS Cruise 8. And he was so nice. He was great. It was great. It was a funny story because I went to Universal, and when I go to the convention, Peter was left. He finished all the photo with the fans, and I talked to Gigi. So please, I said I came from Argentina. Please, I need a picture with him. So he talked to Peter, and there was professional photos. I think you got it, Claudio.
Yeah.
Stand. So I came to the table where he was signing, and I be able to take the picture there because I missed all the professional photo with the all the other fans. And he signed me a few records, the solo album and the originals too. And I remember I say, "Would you sign my arm, please, for a tattoo?" And he looked at me and see, "I'm so tired of this." And he was really slow. He took like 5 minutes to sign my arm, and it was great. And then like 4 or 5 years later, I meet Benny in I think it was I don't remember the name of the hotel. It was before the cruise. He was nice, but he signed me the Benny Invasion albums, the Lick It Up, and a single of Dan Harmon. And I asked him to sign my leg for a tattoo, and he charged me $50 for that. When I look at him, because I don't think he can charge me for it. If he said tattoo, I can sell my body. I know I won't put my body on eBay.
I'm gonna cut my leg and put it on eBay.
Yeah, he looked at his assistant and say he paid the $50. He said no, and I look at him and say, come on, guy, it's for a tattoo. It's not an album, but all the others member not charge me for sign my body. I think it's a compliment for his as
Yeah,
fan
it's a
to
fan.
ask you to sign his body.
Right.
You can charge, but we'll know Vinny. And he
So
charged me
you ended up paying.
$50. I
You
pay
ended up paying.
the $50. Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Lale, just to wrap up on this question, from all the members that you met, is there any remarkable story that you would like to share with so which one actually stands out, from all the members that you met, Gene, Paul, Tommy, Eric Singer, is there anything that you would like to share with us, like that story?
I think Bruce is the most humble, the most. He had no problem. At the first I met him, he signed me like I don't know, like 10 records, and he has no problem. We took a lot of pictures. He was always all the time. I met him like fifth time, and he was great all the time. And when I show him my tattoo in my leg, he always take pictures and feel. He was great. And Gene, he was great too. It was when the Kiss Crusade finished, I was at the port, and I saw Sophie was there, his daughter, and I say, well, I have to wait, because if Sophie's here, I think Gene is coming. And a few minutes later, he's coming, and my friends who has picture with him let me have the picture and say, hey, Gene, take a picture with Lale. And he say, Lale? Who's Lale? And he grabbed my neck and took a very cool picture. It was a good experience. And with Peter or Ace, it was meet and greet, because Ace, it's not like a personal experience, because it's like a meet and greet, and it's more like a job. Take a pictures and you can be able to talk with him, but it was great. Also, it was great. It was a dream to meet Ace and the other members.
That's right. Well, you met all of them, so that's great. This is fantastic.
So, speaking of fantastic, it's time to talk about something that Claudio mentioned in the introduction. So you published and released a book called KISS in Argentina. So we're curious to know, oh, there it is. That's a beautiful book. So we're curious to know, how did you come up with the crazy idea of getting yourself immersed into such an ambitious project?
Well, I'm a graphic designer, and since I was 15, I always try to do something about graphics, a book, or with my favorite band. And I have a few projects that didn't work out. But since I was 15, I would love to. I have the dream to do a book about KISS. But 6 years ago, I have the idea to do something about KISS in my country, the story about KISS in Argentina since '76, when they published the first album here, and to this year, till the last concert 2 months ago. So I think they never, as I say, I always feel fascinated about all the story of the fans during the 80s here in Argentina. And I realized there was no book, there was no magazine talk about that. And I have a lot of info, and I say, nobody's doing anything. I gotta do the job.
So from your point of view, do you consider this book like a biography on KISS?
No, it's not. It's not like the typical biography of the band. It's all the story about what happened just in Argentina.
Okay.
With the relation of the band, and some also during what was happening in Argentina during that time, as Claudio say, all the government, all the wars,
Now we're getting into the real thing, you know, of this episode, and this is really getting more and more interesting. So, as you just said, this is clearly not a biography. So there are tons of books out there, you know, talking about the history of the band, you know, different lineups and blah blah blah. This is to me, this is like all it covers all the possible intersections between KISS and Argentina. So I mean, you must be talking in your book about canceled shows, you know, all the different visits to the country, publications, fanzines.
Publication of the magazines, fanzines. The story of the start with the microphone was the label who published the first KISS albums here in Argentina during 76 and 78. So I get the information how KISS came to start to did all his album. It was because Diana Ross, because this label microphone has the right of Diana Ross here in South America. And when Neil Bogart in 75 listened the single "Love to Love You Baby," he wanted her for Casablanca,
for the label,
for his label. And when he realized the South American part has this Argentina label, they make a contract. They knew before they make business way back in the 60s when Neil Bogart works in Buddha Records. So they know about this label, and he made the contract that Casablanca has all the right of Diana Ross, but this label, this Argentina label microphone, has to use all the catalog of Casablanca, including KISS, who nobody know KISS about, no KISS here in Argentina.
So basically, KISS was introduced into Argentina thanks to, you know, the catalog that was pushed by Neil Bogart, you know, with Diana Ross. That's what happened. So we basically got from the back door, right? In the case of KISS.
That's right. It is from the back door. Yeah. Information is on the book about a journalist who was friends of those people of microphone, and when I read that, I think this is great. Nobody knows this story, so
that's
for me, put the intention of the book is put information that you can find. It's very known by the fans. The fans, I think, know everything, but there's some story. For example, I talked with Chris Land and told me some things. There's now even in his book, Kiss and Sell. For example, why Gene and Paul they didn't want to come to Argentina, and it's great stuff that I put in this book.
So you're talking about, you know, when KISS visited Brazil in '83, right?
Yeah, in '83. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Chris Land came here to Argentina to negotiate the contract with these local promoters, Demarks, and he told me the truth is Paul and Gene didn't want to go to South America because they saw us like a primitive. You got to remember, here in Argentina, the only big stage show was Queen in '81. Nobody came to.
That's right.
International artists, just a few, maybe Van Halen and maybe some others. But yes. But he told me by the standard of like a KISS show in the US, Europe, or even Australia, he told me South America wasn't prepared for a show like this in technology, lights, sounds.
Yeah, all the infrastructure, of course.
Yeah, the infrastructure. Yeah.
So Lale, how did you manage to gather all that information, put it together, and create a storyboard for the book? Because it's not easy when you have so many pieces there. So how did you create a book with all of that and with the flow? So how did you create the storyboard?
Yeah, first I look into my collection, looking what I have about Kiss in Argentina, maybe all the show, some stories, and then I start to draw a line or storyline about what happened in each year, and cover all the 80s, all the 90s, the 70s, and I start to think what who the people who I can talk about that. So maybe I met someone and he told me, no, if you want to know about that, you got to ask with, you got to talk with this guy. And I start to know in a lot of fans, a lot of collector, and it was great. And some fans told me, you got to put this, you got to talk about that, because, for example, Parque Rivadavia, who is a park in Buenos Aires, during the 80s, all the fans came together on Sundays, and it's like a
it was for
record fair
collectors. Yeah, and
for collectors, and they reunite. It was a reunite point.
Yeah, I used to. I remember I used to go there.
Yeah.
I used to go there with a bunch of guys, and that was the only place to actually be exposed to merch. And you had the chance there to exchange, buy, or sell stuff. It was in a park. It was nothing organized, but everybody knew that every Sunday morning you had to be there. So that was the only chance that you had to be exposed to KISS.
I know the place. I read about the place, but as I say, I'm not from Buenos Aires, and I didn't know it was so important for KISS fans during the 80s and early 90s. And so I think I gotta put this all this event. Yeah, and I'll talk with as I say, with collector fans, journalists, famous journalists today here in Argentina, who were a KISS fan when they were younger. So it was great. It was great. It covered all the shows. Before the cancellation of '83, there was a first intention to bring the band in '81 to '82, and there was.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Because the promoter, who was an owner of a lot of theatrical centers in Buenos Aires, they talked with, in '81 Frank Sinatra came to Argentina.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. And he was a friend of the promoter, Palito Ortega, who bring him.
Yeah.
He said to the other promoter, don't you even try to bring KISS, because you gotta lose a lot of money. This promoter lose like $8 million bringing Frank Sinatra here to Argentina. Yeah, so they say lose all the money you deposit because here in Argentina, because the situation with the dollar, you didn't know the next day, all the exchange, like economical problems. So all the idea
was a lot of risk. It was a lot of risk.
Yeah, a lot of risk.
Yeah. There's so much I didn't know about the history of KISS in Argentina, and in the context of what was also happening in that country. I'm just sitting back and listening to all this. It's just so interesting. But not just in Argentina, though. Your book is getting traction from KISS fans all around the world, because I think it's obvious that this book is proof of your love, passion, and dedication for the band. So how do you feel about the reaction that you're getting from KISS fans from literally around the world?
Yeah, it was great. I received messages from fans from the US, Mexico, all South America, like Colombia, Mexico, Chile, Peru, and it was great. All the people who wants to, and I think it's like so a special topic here in Argentina. I don't even realize people from other countries feel excited about this book. It was great, and as a KISS fan, I understand, because when someone published a book about, I don't know, Kiss in Japan or Sweden. I feel curious about that because it's different. It's not like the typical biography of the band that I read 100 times. It's something more special, more focused here. What happened in other country and the story of the band here in Argentina is, for me, is fascinating. I feel it's great, and people. For me, this book is a tribute for all. For my age, I was born in '84. I don't live the explosion, the popularity of Kiss here in Argentina. But as I say, I always feel fascinated. I'll hear about fans talking about, and I interview a lot of fans and a lot of people who tell me, thanks for this book because you had me bring me back to my childhood when I was 8, and my mother bought me all the Kiss trading card, the Argentinian ones, or took me to the movie to see here called Kiss contra los Fantasmas. Kiss Meet the Phantom of the Park. And it was great to people who now is 50, 55, and to be able to remember of his youth with his book. For me is great. It's one of the, it feels really great.
So I want to go back for a second to, the spark that ignited the idea of creating this book.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned that there is no other book like this in Argentina.
Yeah, there's no other book. The spark was all the stuff I have about all the stories. What the press. One of the focus of the book is how hard it was to be a Kiss fan here in Argentina during the 80s. Because as Claudia said, it was very hard because the political problems. In '82 we have the Falklands War, Malvinas, and the government. You can hear music in English here. It was banned. So and all the people say, as I say, they were satanic. They killed chicken on stage. All the bunch of lies. And the funny is the people. There's some people who still believe that all the stuff, and for the fans, it was hard to your schoolmates think you're stupid because you like Kiss, or your parents think you were crazy because you like this band, or even the church. All in the media, in the TV, they was talking trash all the time, talking about the band. So all the people told me it was really hard, and for all these people who still is fan 40 years later, and for me it's amazing. It's like an inspiration for me to I talk with Claudio, talk with a lot of other collectors or other fans who told me great stories, and for me that's the spark.
It's interesting what Lali is mentioning, because even in the U.S., I remember there were some, religious, turmoil in some specific, states, but past and the audience in Argentina, it was going to the extreme, okay? And because Kiss was the perfect target, you had a guy spitting blood, breathing fire, with the makeup and all of that. And in Argentina, how things work is that they create this rivalry between things. It happens in soccer, either you're on one side or the other side. And in the case of music, they created, when I say they, it's the government and the media, they created this ridiculous, rivalry between Kiss and Queen. So you were either a Queen fan or a Kiss fan, which I don't think that ever happened in any other country, but in Buenos Aires,
this is crazy. Unique. Bruce Kulick didn't know about. He asked why this Kiss versus Queen, because I think because it's the two bands, the popularity of the two bands exploded almost the same time here in Argentina during
The 80s.
the 80, 81, 82. They were the two most selling band, international selling bands here in Argentina. So I talk with a lot of fans, and I talk with a journalist, a famous journalist here in Argentina called Bebe Sanso, who is a huge Queen fan, and he told me, for me, it's like the KISS fan thing, because I don't pay attention about that. I know about the rivalry, but he didn't care. But I talked with KISS collector, and one told me when Queen came here to Argentina, my mother bought me a ticket, but I didn't go because I feel if I go, I was betraying KISS. How I was afraid now he regret, of course, but he was a child and it was intense. That you're or a KISS fan or a Queen fan. And other fan told me when I was to the birthday of my cousin who was a Queen fan, I scratched all his Queen records because. But you gotta understand, here in Argentina, it's always like a versus thing in political, in soccer, in sports, in the bands, the local bands. There was always you gotta pick one side. It's common here in Argentina. That.
Okay, so I think it's clear that I think you wrote this book to set the story straight of KISS in Argentina.
Yeah.
So my question is, did you write this book for you, or did you write this book because there was a need from KISS fans?
I think both. For me, as I say, it was like a dream. I always love graphic designs and I feel and all the story of the band, but as I say, it was achieved for all these previous fans who lived the hard, how hard it was to be a KISS fan, and nobody wrote about that, and maybe in some magazines, but and also as a collector, I feel there was no info about all the 29 LPs and all the Argentinian discography. So I say, as a collector, I have to put all the KISS, the covers of the album, the cassettes, because it's even hard to find in the internet. Well, in the special group about cassette or LP, you can find all the maybe some pictures, but for example, the cassettes of microphone, the early tapes, you can see that. I can show you.
Oh yeah, okay.
So for me, put all the covers, and the magazine ads about the LPs.
Okay.
Wow. So comprehensive.
Yeah.
The
first tribute album who has this is a promo poster of the solo albums.
Okay.
This is the magazine ad, and the first tribute CD has this idea to make fun
That's
of
great.
the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a graphic designer, I love because the publisher gave me the freedom to do the cover, to do all the image of what, and I have a lot of contribution of fans who give me, for example, some set lists, original set lists, and I try to put all tickets, the official merch, T-shirts, all the ticket passes from press,
look at that, the poster. Okay.
Yeah, poster. I think all the KISS fans love to see that.
Yeah.
With the ticket passes.
So with so much information, it must have been really hard to decide what to put in the book and what things to leave out of the book, right? Because it's so much info. Huh?
Yeah, I try to do. It's not like I try to look more to take this book a visual, not so visual, because I like there's a lot of information. It's not like for example, like a history book is all image. But as a KISS fan, I say to the publisher, there have to be some. There's a lot of photos, and as a KISS fan, I know what other fans like to see. So they give me the freedom to select all the pictures.
Nice.
And I feel great.
Oh, that's from '94, eh?
The trading, yeah, 94. The first show.
Yeah, the first show.
Yeah. This is from a photographer called Christian Galan, who gave me. He's a KISS fan, and he was a professional photographer, and he gave me a lot of pictures and to put, and he was great.
Lale, so as you're going through the book, so what is your, if you do have one, what is your preferred section or chapter in the book, and why? Do you have a preferred chapter?
Yeah, I have two chapter that I love most. The first is chronological, of course. The first is the explore the popularity here in Argentina during 79 till 82. Mm-hmm. That's because, as I say, I talk with a lot of fans. I met great people. I think during the time I met you, Claudio.
Yeah, that's right.
I talked to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where you told me some great stories. And meeting all these fans, and I feel fascinated about the stories. And then when they told me what they do about the band when they were child, it was a great story. Or fans meeting the band when the band came here in 94.
94, yeah. Mm-hmm.
94. How they met the band. There's a lot of great stories about that. And the other chapter that I like most is the next one, the cancellation of the 83 show in the Boca Juniors Stadium, because there's so much information and not there's some lies, some inventions. So I decided I got to talk to Chris Land, who he was here, and he knows the true story.
Who better than going to the source of information?
Yeah, and he was very nice. I talked to him on the phone. I called him to his house in New York, and we talked like a half hour. And his memory, he has a great memory about all what happens. And as he told me a story that it's not even in his book. You know, in his book, Kiss and Sell, there's a chapter about that. But as all the story about why Paul and Jean didn't want to come here and what the situation was. He told me we didn't know this guy, this promoter, and I didn't know if they have the money to pay us. And you gotta understand, even if they have the money, I think they were not prepared to. Is a problem about
such a show?
Enter to the equipment to the country. And he told me when the story about the bomb threat it was on the New York Post and the bat saw it, he said,
"Forget it.
That's it. Yeah, forget it. We don't go there. We don't take a risk about our life. This is crazy. We can go there." So, and he told me he didn't know the promoter is still selling tickets. Even he sent a telex saying you gotta cancel of these, stop selling tickets. But the promoter is don't say nothing and still selling tickets.
He kept selling tickets. You know, it was a big rip-off.
And then disappears.
Yeah.
So yeah, so many fans can recover all the money, or maybe the half part of the money of the ticket,
Yeah.
and then I'll lose his money.
So the whole story
people
is in the
disappear.
book. So the whole story
Yeah,
is in
yeah.
the book now. So Lale, let me ask you, how can KISS fans have access to the book? Do you have any plans
Yeah.
to publish or actually to reach other countries, continents? I know that you've actually distributed the books in some countries in South America, but how about North
Yeah.
America, Europe? Any plans?
The book coming out from in bookstores in the first day of July. We make an anticipation in some locals in Buenos Aires for
Mhm.
the fans,
Mhm.
and have a great response. Is the first it have a 150 copies. It was great. Yeah, I have the publisher some copies to Bolivia. I have sent some copies to Spain for the KISS Army Spain. But I would love to see, of course, publishing this book in English. And the last thing I want to is have problem with the band, because we start about and in the introduction I say this is not, obviously it's not a official thing. I don't use the KISS logo on the cover or a photography. This is a draw. And I will say this has nothing to do with the band, and all the time the logo, the KISS logo, who is a copyright, appears on covers of magazine or album, is like for.
So you took care. You took care of
Yeah.
not getting into trouble with the band, of course.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if I may, I would like to add my 2 cents. So now the book is going to be in about more than 300 bookstores in Argentina.
Yeah.
So big
Yeah,
ones,
that's correct.
big chain of bookstores there. So it's going to be available early July. So everybody will have access to the book, right?
Yeah, on the website of the publisher, who is Gourmet Musical, the people here in Argentina can buy the book there.
Good.
Also.
Awesome.
So we also recently found out that the book made its way to the band members, right? That's where I first heard about the book. I saw a picture of Tommy Thayer holding the book while he was on tour in Europe.
In Germany, yeah.
Yeah.
He was great.
Oh, that must have been fantastic for you, right?
As a fan, my first dream was to publish the book, and then my second dream was to reach the band, to know about this book, take a picture with the book, and as I say, don't have legally problems, because this is for. I'm a huge fan. I know I have a job. I know make this for the money or and I talked what's really happening in Argentina. I don't bunch of lies or
that's right.
But it's like a fun book. I always say I'm not a writer, I'm not a journalist, I'm a graphic designer. I have help with other journalists from the publisher who helped me to make the book more help with the literally parts, because I'm not a writer, because so it was hard for me. Even I read a lot of music books, but I don't have the ability to write, so I receive help from other journalists, and writers.
So on behalf of Claudio and myself, again, congratulations on such an amazing initiative, such an amazing book.
Thank you.
That you created. So the obvious next question would be then,
happy.
Can we expect to see more books in the future?
I will have some projects in mind. It took me 6 years to make this book, and And the thing that the publisher feel interest about this book is not like the typical biography of the band that you can find in everywhere else. They feel interest about this book because it's a unique thing, it's a unique topic, and it's special. You can find this information in everywhere else because there's a lot of interviews with fans. I like because I'm not a writer, I try to put the Nothing to Lose book, who has the name, who's talking, and what he's saying. I like that kind of style, so you can find the name of the fan or the journalist or whatever, and what he's saying directly. It's like you read it, it's like he's talking to you.
The testimonials,
the testimonials. That's right. Yeah, I like the style of writing. So this has a lot of testimonial that in that style. I have a few ideas, but I don't know. I always love to do a complete biography in Spanish, because here in Spanish there's a few books, but the story is resumed in 5 pages. And I always love the Julian Gill books. I have like all of them, and that kind of information for me is fascinating. And I haven't. I think I have almost all of them. To do something big, the real story and complete story of the band in Spanish, but I know it's hard because
it is.
Because it's hard, but it's like I have in mind, but I don't really know if I start to do that, but it's like a possibility. But for me, as I say, as a fan, it's a dream to put out a book, and what other people say is, for me, is amazing. A few weeks ago was the Father's Day here in Argentina. I don't know, in our country also.
Yeah.
And I saw a story on Instagram of a fan who bought the book. His children buy for him, and he put a picture of the first page with he has my name and the title of the book, and in a childhood ride say, "Thank you, Daddy, for make me a KISS fan. I hope you like this present. You are the best KISS fan." And for me to read that, I get emotional because I say, "Wow, it's like a dream." It's because it started like a dream for me, but all the people to share and tell some great things about this book, for me it's like a dream. It's like a dream.
You can't ask for more, because
you can put a price on that, because
that's
as right. I say, I don't make this book for the money, or for me it's like a dream as a KISS fan, and to see other people share or send me photos of with the book.
Look, each one of us, we try to find ways to enjoy, to have fun with the band. Look what we're doing here with the podcast, and Basque, he's been running the KISS Army Nation, site, and he's been organizing so many events over the years. It's a way of celebrating, life and being thankful to the band. And Lale, we can't keep going forever with this episode. I'm so grateful to have you here, and I also want to thank Pasc, because this is the first time we're having someone from South America speaking.
Sorry for my English.
No, it's great. It's great. Yeah. This is a great experience, and
I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Of course. Speaking of your book, it's for me, being a close friend to you, it's also a dream. So we're unfortunately we're getting closer to wrap up the show, and we like to end our special episodes by giving our listeners an idea of what being a KISS fan means to our guests.
For me?
In your case, What
Okay,
does being
yeah.
a KISS fan mean to you?
I always remember when the end of the road tour begins and you record a video in Spanish, how you feel. And when I saw it, I feel I don't even know you. I saw the video and I say this guy is talking to me, beside of the different age or whatever. And what you say about it's about life, it's about friends, it's about all the experience. It's not just music. It's meeting people who love all the same as you. And for me, it's great. All the best memories in my life have some connection directly or indirectly with KISS. Girlfriends or friends, by school memories, things that I do when I was 12 that I didn't do for everyone, for anybody or anything. And it's like a style of life for me. It's sometimes sounds crazy and I didn't understand really what is, because but it's hard to explain with words what is to be, because I think other people can understand. You had to feel it. Maybe some people who didn't know the band said, well, this guy's crazy, look at all of the passion he has for the band. But for me, it's about that passion. Do what you like. Maybe it sounds like a cliche, but as Paul says, is do what you do, what you dream, go for it. And for me, making this book is like a dream of my life.
That's
the
dream.
ultimate dream, and now it's a reality. I can ask for more. So it's hard to explain, but it's about passion and do what you like and celebrate life, friends, family.
It's true love,
KISS
man.
Is all
It's
that.
true love. True love.
KISS for me is all that. Yeah.
No, Lale, I gotta tell you, I want to again thank you for being on the show.
No,
but I want to thank both you and Claudio, because I feel that on tonight's episode, I wasn't a host, I was a listener. And it was just so fascinating listening to your stories, listening to KISS in context of Argentina, getting that history lesson. It was just, as a teacher myself, it was just so educational. And I've said it before on this podcast, we promote KISS fans. We promote their stories, their ideas. And it's just not a North American thing or a Canadian thing. It's something around the world. So it's fantastic for us.
The worldwide connection is great. For me, meeting people for you, like from Canada or the US or from all over the world, for me is great. There's no other way if it wasn't for KISS.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, look, it's. I think it's all said. I think that Paz he summarized it, in the best way. So grateful again, Lale, to have you here. And here in our podcast, we have a tendency of, and we love putting things into perspective. So we're not going deeper into kind of the minutia with KISS, but we always like to talk about what's going on around KISS, the stories, the landscape, Argentina in this case. Sometimes we talk about Europe and Japan. We had so many guests, and
that's great. It's a great show. It's a great idea.
Thank you. We can't thank you enough. It's been a great pleasure to have you. And again, congratulations. I think this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I can feel it that this is going to take you to a huge new level. That's for sure.
Thank you, Claudio. Thank you both guys for having me here and let me talk about my experience as a fan. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. To the KISS Army, if you want to get involved with the KISS Army Nation podcast, send us your comments, questions, or ideas to talk to me at kissarmynationpodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and remember, never stop rocking. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Spotify, Automatic, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to make yourself heard. leave us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. See you all soon, KISS Army.